always are written at the same time, but this one kind of happened quickly over the course of maybe just like a week or so. And the title comes from whatever, I'll give it away. The title comes from the bass. One part of the bass line came about from just playing the melody to the Jurassic Park theme.
Oh, really? Nice.
And turning that into something dancey. And so I had that influence from the Jurassic Park theme, and the form of the song is influenced by a song titled Monarchy of Roses by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Monarchy, king. So T-Rex, and it's dancey, so what if T-Rex just wanted to dance?
There you go.
That's the fun part of being an instrumental band, our songs can be, like, that's just my interpretation of the song. It could be anything to anyone else.
Right.
The idea with all of our music is, again, to let you, as a listener, and perhaps if you're listening attentively, in a different place than where we began with the song. And our intent is to, be positive and fun and inspiring, and that's what we're trying to do.
And I definitely, that's one of the things that attracted me to your sound too. I'm a really big Bob Marley fan too, and I know everything that you usually do. I don't know everyone else very well, but Ben is also a yoga instructor, so I will say that you're very inspiring, and all of your posts, and that's so. I mean, that's something that's it really has a pretty profound effect, more so than I think people give it credit. There's so much negativity, and we're affected by it, whether we want to be affected by it or not. So to have someone who's constantly, just stays balanced in that regard is something that I'd naturally gravitate to. So if you check out Enlightening on their webpage, I hunted Ben down and cornered him at Haymarket one night, and I was like, I'm coming up with this show, and I want you guys to please come on at some point. So I want to say thank you again.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciative that you took the time to come on. But their website. I'm sure you guys have a website.
We don't have a website.
You don't have a website yet?
No.
So the Facebook is has everything you need. But
we're on Twitter and Instagram, the social medias.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that official yet. Unfortunately, we should be, but so
you
much.
You seem very, very professional. I mean, like you guys have been together for 10 years.
None of us know how to make a website, so it's not easy.
It
might cost money
does.
unless I can figure out how to do it myself, which supposedly, Squarespace or whatever, you can do that. But with all of the other things, it just hasn't been the biggest priority yet. We've only been in Louisville, So to have our own website, to dedicate the time and energy it would take to making that, at the moment, has been a little bit lower on the priorities, focusing on like playing shows here in town, focusing on getting our album out. And now that we're gonna have our album out, officially, like worldwide, it's gonna be on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, in the U.S. and overseas. So
That's
now
incredible.
we need a website, that when people find us that aren't just from Louisville, they can find us somewhere. So.
Yeah, go ahead. The other Ben wants to talk.
I noticed that when I do check the Facebook, statistics or whatever, the fancy stuff that you can check on Facebook, that a lot of the people that actually like our Facebook page are from actually not in the U.S. There's a lot of people overseas that already
really
have you noticed that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you guys have,
all over the world,
you've reached right around, it looks like almost 1,400 likes on your Facebook.
Yeah. So one of the cool things
Without
about
any
it,
recordings.
That's great. Yeah.
one of the cool things about it, I think, is that it, instrumental music. I mean, all music is kind of transcendental from the language, barrier, but I feel like instrumental music is even more so. Instrumental music is even more so because, it doesn't have words, so you don't have to assign that specific culture to it. It can be anybody's culture, or everybody's, if you will.
Yeah.
And you guys explain that on your Facebook as well. It says, we love music. We believe music affects us all more than we give it credit for. So we aspire to inspire, which I think that's a cool phrase, to feel excited, triumphant, powerful, happy. We'll try to make you feel differently by the end of one of our songs than you did when it began. So that's pretty powerful stuff, because you actually do. I mean, music has the ability to change moods. I'm a huge advocate for that. And you also say that one of your quotes is, "Enlightening tells stories with their music, and you get to be the narrator." So that's, indicative as what we were talking about before. That's your perspective or perception of what the T-Rex song's about. But, everyone has their visual, especially, listening on the radio, of the mood or the colors or however that song makes them feel. So that's one of the interesting things that I wanted to get to know you guys as a band individually, and kind of find out a little bit more about what you do beyond Enlightening, that really makes up this positive kind of movement with your sound. Mm-hmm. So we know, Ben, that you are the yoga instructor. Do you feel like that obviously is a huge part of who you are?
Yeah, that's my day job. I'm really happy to have worked towards that. I've had a ton of other jobs, whether it's been, retail or sales or restaurant or blue collar. But I've been able to, did a yoga teacher training, and that's what I do 5 days a week now.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And the other Ben, how long have you been in the band? Ben, the other Ben, I should say, is on the French horn, Ben Taylor, and you heard him speak earlier. I just wanted to introduce you a little bit. So how long have you been in the band, and what do you do beyond Enlightening?
Well, I've been in the band since pretty much the beginning, more or less, and it's been about 4 years now, or 4.5 years really. And and outside of Enlightening, I am a public school music teacher. I teach band at Western High School.
Very cool. So I shouldn't ask you if you're classically trained. You're probably
yeah, actually
trained.
All of the members of the band went to college or university for some type of music degree or experience. And
I heard we have half Bellarmine or some U of L, or
yeah,
is it Bellarmine U of L?
Yeah, we have a representation of both colleges.
And Eastern Kentucky
and
University
EKU.
as well. Yes.
EKU, shout out.
Yeah,
Lamar on the drums.
Is our
Represent.
Yeah, for sure. He is probably one of the most important members of the band, and he went to EKU for percussion. So it is, to me, that is another big thing that we talk about a lot. I mean, it seems to come up a lot as music education has affected all of us, and so we're big advocates of that. John Marietta, the cellist, is also an orchestra teacher in JCPS, or Jefferson County Public Schools, at Seneca High School. So
both teach private lessons.
Yeah, and Lamar teaches private lessons. Joe teaches private lessons. Monica teaches private lessons. And Nancy, you are a choir director as well, aren't you?
Nancy on violin.
Well, Nancy sings and plays
her mic
violin.
is on. You can talk, Nancy. She's like, just tell him
no.
Yeah, I play the violin and sing, mainly, I guess it is mainly a church choir setting, and I was a member of LVP too. Louisville Vocal Project, yeah.
Very nice. So no shortage of I guess lessons if anyone's looking. We have a lot of talent and a lot of professors in here.
We did an interview just last Monday as well, and Ben mentioned something that was really cool, and just like how we're, in a lot of ways, we're very much about the opportunity for music education with youth, because, if I didn't, I still remember the day that when I was in elementary school, the elementary school orchestra teacher came into the classroom and introduced all 4 instruments: violin, viola, cello, and bass. And I was this little shrimpy kid, and she introduced this big upright bass, and I was like, ooh, I want that. And had that not have happened, I wouldn't be standing here playing a bass guitar right now.
So she didn't say, "Do you know how tall you are, Benjamin?"
No, I just wanted that big instrument,
is
and
the
it turned out
biggest
to be like a huge hassle to have to carry that around in a car everywhere.
You didn't. Yeah, you didn't forward think that.
But no, it's been totally life. It became my path, you know.
Right.
So the opportunity for kids to begin trying music is so huge. It's been such a positive influence on all of our lives. No matter what, I always say it's the best hobby, even if you're only doing it for yourself in your own bedroom, you know, like it feels good to play, to be able to express yourself and enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely. And we have a couple, obviously a couple teachers in here that will attest to the fact that when kids are bored, it is not good. So, you have to give them something to occupy their minds and their time. And what better thing than music? And I personally feel the same way. I'm not as classically trained, but I have had a passion for music. And so I'm kind of the weirdo of my family. Like no one else has the passion that I do. But, it causes your brain to think differently. So there are times that I may suggest something to my family and they're like, that's so weird, and I'm like, well, musicians are weird and I hang out with them. So, that's one of the things that you guys are completely, you're very confident in your weirdness and keeping Louisville weird.
Yeah,
and,
for sure. There's no lack of, what other band can you think of that has this instrumentation and this, like,
right.
We're definitely not afraid to be weird and try something different.
Well, I am a fan. I know there are a lot of other fans out there, and we are, again, super excited to have you guys on. So we want to feature as much music as we can, and again, if you're just tuning in, Enlightening Live, songs from their Enjoy album, which is coming up, the release at Headliners. We'll have more information on that here in a little bit, but we're going to let them get prepared for another song for you guys here in the studio. And again, this is live. Special thanks to my sound tech, Colin, who came in early and got everything going today.
Yeah, it's some extra work to do today, I think.
So,
Thank you, Colin.
You guys sound great. So you want to introduce the next song that we have coming up?
Yes, this song is called Circuit. It is one that I guess a story did not predestine the song, but rather the music just unfolded in the way that it was when I started to write it. And the title, interestingly enough, so I mentioned that I've had a bunch of different jobs. The title, when I title an instrumental song, since it doesn't have to be about lyrical content, it can be about whatever it is that's going on in my life at the time. So this song is called Circuit because at the time I was working at a Circuit City, one of the last ones existing. And I remember I was working at as a cashier, and I had the idea for the chord changes of this song. So I printed out a long sheet of receipt paper, tore it off, and wrote out all of the chord changes to this song, and that's why it's called Circuit, because I was at Circuit City when it happened.
What better story do you have than
since
that?
We're instrumental and we're not talking about Circuit City, it might it might evoke the idea of like electricity running through a current and running through a circuit board. Who knows?
We just had that buzzing sound. That is a little eerie. All right. Well, here is Enlightening live on 100.9 FM with their song Circuit. Enlightening. That was Circuit here on 100.9 FM. Be careful when you are shopping around a Circuit City because somewhere there is a cashier who's composing that in his head as you're checking out. Amazing song. I really enjoyed the keys on that too, Monica. Are you, I don't know if you have a microphone or not. Let's get Monica a microphone. So yeah, I just wanted to, is it? Well, you can. There you go.
Yeah, I can kind of reach.
There you go.
Here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just
That's
put her
okay.
on the spot. I just wanted to know, like, as far as your, composition and that kind of stuff, do you ever just think freestyle maybe and just come up with things in the songs? And
Yeah, Ben writes parts for me, and some of them I play more literally, exactly how they're written, and sometimes I rewrite him, sometimes without him knowing even.
Right.
And add things in, and, occasionally, like, change a voicing or two. Because Ben, admittedly, is not a pianist, so a lot of times he's like, I tell him all the time, tell me what you want tell me what you want to hear,
Right.
and I will make it happen. And you don't have to worry so much about notating every little thing.
Because
So-
it's one thing to hear it, I guess in your head, and
It's
then
really
it's
crowded in
Yeah,
here.
it's a little tiny. You guys are working well. This is fun. So I say with all this space over here. But yeah, so I just wanted to see if maybe you ever kind of just put your own influence in there, or
Yeah,
how that works.
definitely. I'll double parts. I'll add things in. I'll change. I don't alter things too much. Sometimes I'll change rhythm. Sometimes I hear what Lamar is doing and try to match him more. Sometimes I double. And I also know all of the string parts and some of Ben's parts, so sometimes when they're not there, I'll fill in things for them. There's one where Joe plays an intro that a lot of times when he's not here, I end up having to play it, and which is okay because I come in halfway through, so I'm basically just playing a super long intro by myself.
Yeah.
But
So you can kind of lead, the rest and any.
But as a classically trained pianist with some accompaniment background and stuff, that's just kind of my tendency. Is I don't write things out of the blue so much, but I sort of adapt to what all the other soloists are doing.
Awesome. So do you teach as well, or what do you do outside?
Yeah, I teach piano lessons. I also have a lot of us also have had food service jobs, so I also work in catering. But mostly teaching and playing in. This is really the only active band I'm in at the moment, and I do have about 10 or so private students, and
Nice.
and then just still spend a lot of time practicing Bach and Chopin like a nerd at home.
Right. Well, I was going to say, are you influenced, I guess,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, definitely some classical influence, but a lot of other stuff too. So
Well, I was really impressed, you guys. I won't make you lean over anymore. That was Monica on the keyboard. But you guys are influenced by one of my favorite bands, which is Sigur Rós. Love Sigur Rós. And you don't really find too many people that know of them as well. They're Icelandic. So I love that you guys had that. And I was just scrolling through your Facebook. Did you guys most recently play at the Pride Festival? Was that one of your...
Yeah, I think that was our last. That was our last show. So that was on somewhere like June 20th, somewhere in there, June 17th, 18th.
Around June 18th?
Yeah. And that was a huge show.
It
that might
looks
have,
huge. It looks
yeah.
like there was like a lot of people there. So
That might have been the most people we've performed in front of before. We were there.
No, that was definitely the most people we were
Yeah.
in front
All
of.
right.
ever.
Cool. Yeah.
There were a few thousand people there. It was pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah, that's true. Thanks so much.
So you guys received some really good feedback from the crowd. I can imagine.
Yeah, for sure. For one thing, playing at the Pride Festival, visually we're interested in being visually entertaining as well.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond just playing our music, the idea for the look of the band on stage is we all still dress formally because of like kind of the classical nature of the sound,
Mm-hmm.
but because of the way the music is and just I guess the times perhaps we wanted to look a little more fly. So we all wear a different color. So we've ended up wearing a different color of the rainbow, pretty much like your basic Crayola box colors, and it worked out great to be at the Pride Festival because we fit right in, I think.
Yeah, those pictures look really cool. I'm just kind of scrolling through your Facebook right now, but
Thank you.
the crowd, hands up in the air. It just looks like everyone's having a great time. I can imagine your release show will probably be the same way. All of your songs are really energetic and uplifting. This album, how do you compare it? I'll ask you, Lamar, because you're one of the founders of this band as well. But, when you guys first started and you and Ben decided, to come up with the concept of this huge ensemble with all of these different instruments. So how do you feel like you've grown from the first album to this new album, Enjoy?
Man, when Ben and I first started writing the songs, Ben had a lot of the structure of the song already kind of planned out. And the thing is, he would have sort of an idea of what the rhythm was going to be, and when I hear it, I hear something completely different. And so, what I bring to, because I'm pretty much the only person in the band that has kind of autonomy on my own part.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a lot of times I'll come with a completely different rhythm than Ben was kind of thinking in his head, and so the song instantly kind of morphs from that point. And we'd kind of work out and hammer out these basic foundations of songs, and then Ben would take them to his room and start composing the string parts and the guitars and the piano, and he'd be gone away for a while and come back with MIDI recordings of the songs, and you could kind of hear where the song was going to go. Once we started to actually get the other people in the band start playing along, the song kind of grew from there. And at first everybody was really kind of really sticking to their parts really stringently, and after everybody sort of got comfortable playing in the band, and because a lot of people in the band haven't really been in bands before.
Really?
I mean, you don't really see a lot of French horns or cellos in a lot of rock bands. It
Right.
doesn't happen very often.
I'm hoping it comes back. I really love that era when they were
It's
prevalent.
working for us pretty well so far.
Yeah.
So, once everybody kind of got used to being in the band, kind of got used to their parts, everybody kind of, sort of takes their own thing and kind of brings their own voice to each part. And so the songs are always kind of getting a little bigger and more interesting and more fun. We add dynamics and, different changes to the songs. I mean, if you could just hear the earliest recordings of the songs that we have compared to how they sound now on the new album, it's like a completely different band.
Right.
Everybody's a lot more, and you can see it when we're playing. Everybody's a lot more comfortable doing it. One of the biggest problems that we had early in the band was everybody would be up there and just so focused on playing the right songs that it was really stiff. Everybody was really robotic on stage, and now everybody's a lot more loose and we all kind of have more fun, and that's easy, and that makes it easier for the people that are there seeing us to get into it, and have more fun with it, and that's cool.
So you
That's
think
fun.
that the chemistry has changed too?
Absolutely, and that came with some lineup changes had to happen, and some changes to the actual music itself had to happen. We had to leave some stuff behind for a while, come back to it, just because for different reasons. But now everybody, I mean, we're all cool here. We all hang out together, and so we've all kind of got a connection that
Right.
you really need to have. Playing music with other people, you have to have sort of
Definitely.
a mental or emotional or spiritual connection with everybody to be able to really, really
So
play
it's
as well as you
not
can.
just a business. I mean, and you guys describe it as a family. So you guys are definitely
Absolutely.
a family.
I mean, it's never really been about being a business for us. I don't think it's always been about creating music that evokes emotion in people. At least from my end, it's always been about creating these songs that affect people.
Right.
One way or another. If you hear it, you can't hear one of our songs and it not affect you in some way, even if that effect is just to be oh, this is terrible, I'm going to turn it off. I don't think that's going to happen. But,
You don't
ideally,
want that reaction, but
ideally I want a reaction.
Any reaction,
and, it's been fortunate for us that the reaction has been pretty positive from pretty much everyone that hears it.
It's really like empowering for me too. Like my personal perspective on it. It's like all I'm not going to compare you guys to the Rocky themes, but the workout music. It's what I would listen to to get inspired, like to motivate me to run through the park, or just notice the trees and just that really calming kind of, but yet positive vibe.
My favorite thing to do, honestly, like Ben gave me the actual like hard copy of the CD, and my favorite thing to do is just get in the car and turn it up really, really loud and drive around and listen to it. Just kind of space out and get into the song. And I've been listening to these songs for 5 years now almost, and just hearing the new recordings and the final copy of the record is just so like, I don't know, man. It was a really emotional thing for me, like hearing it and hearing how everything kind of came together, because I was so worried about it. Because
well, you guys are all perfectionists, I'm sure.
I mean, there are so many things that if we had the time to like go back and hammer it out, we'd still be in the studio today. But
yes.
It's the whole like not letting perfect be the enemy of the good.
Mm-hmm.
The songs ultimately, came out really well. I think everything sounds good. I think everybody that hears it is going to be really pleased with the final product. Mm-hmm. I am. I feel like we all are.
And you guys are scaling back, I will say, for me, and in the studio being this tight space, and still, absolutely incredible sound. And I know because I DJ and play some of your stuff, I personally am really excited for this release show, just to hear, some of the stuff that we didn't have in our database before. So this is all brand new for me too. Hopefully after the release, I'll snag and download it and play it on my shift as well. But if you're just tuning in, we're going to get back to some more music. We've got about 15 more minutes to hang out with Enlightening. We are talking about their release that's coming up. We're getting to know the band a little bit, how they got together, and a little bit of background on some of the songs that you guys hear from them. So their album release show is going to be Friday, August 26th at Headliners Music Hall, and it's featuring Enlightening with special guest performers Dave Clark, Daniel Jackson, a secret guest hip-hop artist that Ben mentioned earlier, so that'll be a fun surprise. And then the Toonsmiths, Wilder Stallions, who we've had on here as well, and DJ Alley. All that for $10 ticket, and you will receive a free digital download for the brand new album.
Yeah, we're going to be passing out to everyone that comes in. We're going to give you a business card with a digital download code to go get our album for free. So you come to the show, you're going to be able to download our album for no charge. We will have physical copies of the CD there available for sale, as well as all new T-shirts and good merchandise stuff. The other bands will have their stuff there. But yeah, come to the show for $10. You're going to get an awesome show as well as our album for free.
Nice. So yeah, I've already got a shirt. I owe you for that, but we will get to the incredible artwork and the artist as well after this song. So what do you have coming up for us?
This song is called Turn It Wild. This is one that we've made a music video for that we actually just released last Monday, or Tuesday, somewhere in there. And
it's on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You should check us out. It's Enlightening at YouTube.
Yeah,
obviously.
Enlightening Music on YouTube. It's been sharing around Facebook pretty well so far. It's great. We filmed the video at Open Art Gallery here in town, and we threw a costume party. The song title is Turn It Wild, so the whole idea was to like show a party, setting up for it, and then show what happens throughout the course of the evening at an Enlightening show. So we threw a costume party. All of our awesome fans came and really decked out. There's also footage from we played at Flow Camp, which is a festival that happens at Terrapin Hill Farm, not too far away. At Flow Camp, what they specialize in is all kinds of performing arts. So like fire spinning and hula hooping and aerial acrobatic kind of stuff. So there's a lot of cool footage of fans playing along with our music with that kind of idea too. So anyway, this is called Turn It Wild.
Awesome. Here's Enlightening with their brand new official music video and song, Turn It Wild, on 100.9 FM. Feels Wild. That was incredible, guys. My favorite. And if you are just tuning in, that's Enlightening. Songs from their brand new album coming up at Headliners, the release August 26th. Enjoy. And you can find that video actually on YouTube, their Facebook. It's being passed around on all social media outlets. I did have a chance to check out that video. I thought it was a very cool production. Did you guys hire anyone in particular to help produce it?
It's by our friend of Lamar's and ours named Nate Morgulian, and he is with Yellowberry Productions.
Very cool.
And they're based out of Bowling Green.
Really? Lots of lighting. I like the visual effects, lots of lights. And that's one of my favorite things about you guys as a band too. Other than your music, you're very colorful, and your marketing and your promoting is just very vivid and bright. So speaking of that, I wanted to give a shout out to the artwork that's done on the album, which is a 3D visual type thing. Very cool. And her name is Allison Whitehouse.
That's correct.
Is she a friend of yours or
that's
a
my
local
girlfriend,
artist?
actually.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So is she a local artist in town, or just very gifted in 3D art?
She by day she's a French professor at U of L in Bellarmine.
Oh, cool.
And she's also very visually talented in multiple mediums. That album was done with colored pencil, but she'll do collage and paint and various things.
Awesome. Well, great job, Allison. If you're listening, we're in love with the artwork here on air, and in love with that song. That again is one of my favorites on the album. How is there a story behind that? You just let it all go with that one and decided to turn it wild. And
that's one of the older songs. I guess Circuit is as well, but there's not particularly a story to that song. Honestly, it's titled Turn It Wild because in my composition and influence brain, it's a combination of a song called Turn It Again by the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Wildcat by Rat-a-Tat. So Turn It Wild.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So we're not jumping to conclusions when we say you're heavily influenced by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, one of your favorite bands.
I'm a bass player, man.
Right.
I've been playing for a long time, and getting of course I got into their older stuff eventually, but Californication came out right when I was entering high school and starting to play bass guitar. So those songs were on the radio, and I was like, oh, a bass can do these things. So from then on, and actually it's been interesting. I find that, of course Flea has influenced the way I play bass, but even more so, I think John Frusciante, the way he arranged the songs not only with his guitar but also with his vocal harmonies, has really affected the way I hear music and compose music.
I was going to say, he's one of my favorites too. And to record Water for only 10 days, have you heard that?
Oh, yeah.
So and then Songs of Siren, love John Frusciante. So I was like, he has to at least say his name if he's a fan.
He's probably my favorite artist, if I were to say.
I could see that. I could see the influence there for sure. So, again, Enlightening, we only have 3 minutes left. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on and let you guys know how you can find them. Do you have anything coming up other than the Headliners release? Or
So
I don't know if you forward thought, past that or not, but
yeah, a bit. We're at Headliners on Friday, August 26th. Please come to the show. It's only $10. You're gonna get a great show, and you're gonna get our new album for free. It's our goal for you just to have our music and play it for company, play it for yourself. We just want you to be able to have it. So please come to the show and you can have it. The next thing that we're up to is since this spring, we've been working on putting together a Rock the Vote show. So that hasn't been announced yet, but that's what we're doing. So we're building essentially a Rock the Vote festival to be at Resurfaced here in town, working with Ja'Cory Arthur and that team with Resurfaced to put on a festival on Saturday, October 8th.
That would be incredible.
The
yeah.
voter registration deadline is Monday, October 10th. So if we can have, the whole idea is to create this, last chance opportunity. Come out, listen to your favorite bands in town, and you'll be able to register to vote in case you haven't yet.
Rock the vote. I like it. And resurface. What better place for you guys? The lighting there is going to be incredible. That's
Yeah,
going to
for
be.
sure.
That's going to be a great show. I will be there for sure. So lots of great things coming up from Enlightening. Again, special thanks to the entire crew: Ben Short, Lamar Cornett, Nancy Mock, Ben Taylor, John Marietta, Monica Potter, and Joe Watts for coming in today, squeezing in this little tiny room and playing their hearts out. This, again, they scaled back for me and you could not tell it all. Just incredible sound. And thank you guys for tuning in. Next week, Gavin Castor will have on Ashley Ledrick, who she's an indie artist, and she's just won Song of the Year 2015 Indieville TV Awards. So she'll be on, singer-songwriter, very, very lovely and talented artist. She is influenced a little by Ed Sheeran and Lana Del Rey. I don't know is that the way you say it, Lana Del Rey? So that'll be a fun show. And also wanted to mention that Kyle Reed is running a little bit late. He usually comes up after me around 10 o'clock. He will be here, but he is doing sound for the Legally Blonde compilation, which is going on. Acting Against Cancer is making that production tonight. So he's doing some things for a very good cause, and it's a charity organization. If you want to find out more about that, you can go on Facebook, Acting Against Cancer, and their production, Legally Blonde, is coming up, directed by Jason Cooper on August 19th. So if you see Cal out, give him a high five for doing his good deed with that. Again, special thanks to my guests, Enlightening, for all their hard work and all the positive vibes that they are spreading around Louisville and helping to keep Louisville weird. Thank you guys again. And we'll see you in here next week on Beyond the Music on
Thank you, Charity.
100.9.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Bob Mitchell, your host for Bob on CHR. BOB means Best of Bluegrass, and CHR means Crescent Hill Radio, WCHQ FM. Please join me on Fridays from 7 until 7:30 for a special program called Local Edition. The show features artists based in Louisville and other Kentucky cities. Look forward to your company on Friday from 7 until 7:30 p.m.
It's 84 degrees.